Okay, what's up, people? I'm back. This is, I guess, that was the prologue. This is chapter one, video one of the series. This is the chapter that I'm calling In Memory of Zahkiyah Taylor Allen. So I talk to people, religious people, talk to some professionals, some people that deal with helping people with depression and things like that, and just trying to get over the situation of me and my wife being separated now for about 8-9 months. So one thing that those people always tell me about is our foundation and how we're supposed to fall back in tough times on our foundation and the things that we built and the good times that we had. And from talking to my wife, one of the things that she said to me since we've been separated is that, we've only had a few good times and things like that. Which is okay. I'm telling you guys now that, listen, in all honesty, I was a horrible husband. Okay. Now I wasn't the worst, but I was far from the best, and I was far from the husband that I could have been, should have been, and that she deserved. But what I do want to do is let you guys know some of the foundation, because this is what what I think about all night. I'm up all day. This is what runs through my mind, and it's completely about her. So I thought I would start this off with actually the story of how we met. And I don't know, if you guys know, but we went to high school together. I was a couple years ahead of her. So when she came in, I was a junior. She was a freshman. And I always liked her. I always thought she was attractive. But back in high school, she was a freshman. I was a junior, so never really said anything to her. We were Facebook friends, following, just because we went to South Philly High. And one day, I believe it was late March, early April, 2010. She posted a picture on Facebook. I still have the picture. It was like a black tank top thing on. She's taking a selfie, smiling, looking unbelievably gorgeous. As a matter of fact, that picture is still one of my call ID pictures for her. She has two, one with me and her, and then one with her. And I remember I sent the message like, "Damn, Zah, look at you looking like high school." And, she laughed, "Thanks, Gene." And, we bantered back and forth. And I said, I had the biggest crush on you in high school. And she was like, "What? No, I didn't know that. Why you didn't say nothing? I liked you too. I thought you were so cute, blah, blah, blah." And so that's the way we started talking. She told me she was getting divorced, and that's why I never really said anything to her, because I saw that she had somebody, and so I saw she was getting divorced. She said she was getting divorced, and she gave me her number, and it actually took me about a week to even call her. Like, I would text her here, "Hey, what's up? Yeah, we're gonna talk later, blah, blah, blah." I never called her. But that was the first time that I had spoken to my wife. I did not know at that time that she would be my wife. I did know that she was probably the most attractive woman I had ever seen in my life. And I wanted to get to know her. So, that's what happened with that. So when I finally did call her, I remember the night I called her, right? The first night I called her, she was like, "Call me, I'm just getting in." I called her, it was probably about 11, 12 o'clock at night. And she was saying that she had just came in from going out, or you had just came in from going out, and you were drunk, and you were saying how you was laying on the bed, and the bed was spinning, and we were trying to talk, but you were drunk, and we hung up. And I remember the next day you called me like, yo, I'm so sorry. I was so twisted last night. And I thought it was cute that, only thing I could remember was that we were talking. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I was saying, that was the first time we talked on the phone. And then from there, we were talking like every day. At first we were talking every other day. Then I started calling you every day, and we were talking. And this is part of the thing that gets me about now is being separated, right? So when we used to talk on the phone, and we would talk about everything, about our marriage, about who we're seeing now, about what we want out of life, what we want to do. And we were so in sync and so on the same page. And we talked about our children and how our children are being raised in single parent homes, and we really want to raise our children in a house where we can have them grow up and have the outlook that we have together, and what we wanted to do in life, what we wanted to accomplish, what our goals, what our dreams were. And I never forgot that stuff. To this day, I remember that stuff, and I try to understand why you don't remember. So that leads me to our first meeting, and our first meeting was brief. I called her. I was downtown. She used to work at Accelerex, right where Love Park is, and I called her. I was downtown. I said, "Hey, I would love to see you." And she said, okay, sure, I'm at work. So she came out downstairs from her office just to walk out and see me. I stood at the entrance to Love Park, and I watched this woman come out of her building. And I watched her walk across the street. And I'll never forget, first of all, she used to wear, I don't know why you stopped wearing this, because I told you it's my favorite hairstyle. She used to wear like a bob that came down the right here, like it went around her face perfectly. And she had on like this brown, like this pea green shirt, and like a brown skirt, and a black blazer. She had some open toe wedges that were black, like kind of suede, strapped around the back. I remember all this because as I saw her walking from her office over to where I was standing at Love Park, all I could think was, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And I remember like it was yesterday. But she came out, or you came out, and we said, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you. She gave me a hug, how things going, cool. And I said to her, I was going to get my hair cut, and I said, well, what time you off? She said, I'm off in a couple hours. I said, well, I'll hang around down here, if you wouldn't mind giving me a ride home, because I wanted to, get to know her and talk to her and stuff. And she did. She went back in the building. I hung around downtown until it was time for her to go. I met her back at Accelerex, and she took me home. And one thing I remember when she took me home is I couldn't stop looking at her. And I couldn't stop looking at her lips, and she's talking the whole time, and all I'm hearing coming out of her mouth is womp, 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 womp. Because all I can see is her lips moving, and I'm like, wow, you have the sexiest lips. And so that's how we first met. This is the first brick of foundation that I can remember. Hopefully it's a good memory for you. I'll see y'all next video.